if your business is keeping you up at night, if you're waking up stressed because you can't sleep, your construction business is keeping you up at night, it probably is because there's an area of your business where you need to acquire more control. And you haven't set the processes to at least have some type of visibility. So, as you know, we did a live before where we talk about the 7 mistakes. And in this case, we're giving you a scorecard that is going to allow you to identify which areas you need to look into. And you don't have to fix everything at once. You want to identify which one to prioritize first. And I'm sharing this with you because you have no idea how many nights of sleep I have lost. And I really would like for you to have to be able to sleep, not to lose your sleep. Your sleep is health. So I created this scorecard for you to evaluate in simple terms, very simple. If you're stressed, so stressed, less stress, in the areas of money, people, risk, time, systems, processes. To give you an example, if you wake up in the morning and the first thought you have is related to, I haven't been paid, or I haven't submitted this bill, or was the bill submitted? Was the invoice approved? Right? Something to that extent, then that's money area. That's easy, right? How much stress are you having? It could be that this issue just started, or it could be that it's been prolonging and prolonging and prolonging. You don't have an idea. Somebody's dropping the ball, right? Something along the path is getting you stuck. You, when I mean you, it's not you, it's your company. If you're the one that does everything, then that's a different situation. In the area of people, you could be waking up and thinking, rushing to the restroom and thinking about a person. And if you wake up and the first thing you think is the name of someone, I have learned that is an area, is a person or a role that you want to pencil. In my experience, when that happened, it means maybe there's no clarity on the role. Maybe the person is not following up with you on where are you in status, which is a responsibility when somebody has clarity around what's required. Or maybe it's a lack of a crucial conversation. You haven't been able to sit down. You appreciate this person, they help you grow, but now you don't know how to talk, how to have that conversation, etc. Several reasons. The client called you. So all of those situations could make you feel intuitively that there's an issue with the person. Then, and you're dragging it, right? It's being dragged. The conversation is being prolonged because, I'll be honest, it's hard. It's hard to talk to people, but it's not your fault. We don't have all the skills that are necessary. When we decide to start our company, we just start and build momentum. And as we grow fast, we haven't had the chance to stop and look at our company at the 50,000 foot elevation. We're kind of in the grind, and we haven't been mentored. We don't know. Somebody else that has gone through this hasn't explained, hasn't taken us by the hand to guide us, and how do we do this better, right? And so this scorecard is one page. I'll show it to you. One page, super simple. And it's check. And what you want to do is gain clarity. Clarity comes first. Control follows. You don't get overwhelmed. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. You know, you don't have to fix everything in one day because sometimes we become impatient. No overwhelming is going to get you to where you want to be. The goal here is to gain clarity, understand where you are, and which is the area that needs the most attention. You're going to go through the scorecard and you are going to identify what's high stress for you, medium stress, and low stress. We all don't we all don't we all have different capacity to handle stress. Some people have a bigger threshold of control. Some people have a lesser threshold of control. So depending on what you think is stress, or let's use another word that is more pragmatical, risk. Depending on what's the risk related to your company and the outcomes of your company, that it can be the gauge, right? So score honestly, right? Low control, medium control. I have high control. And then circle the lowest area. We don't want to fix everything like we talked about. And the lowest area is the one you're going to prioritize. And you're going to take care of that and understand what is it costing you not to have control in this area. Not to feel bad about your performance, about where the company is, because what we're looking for is not to be upset about failure, or it's just an outcome. When we are in business, we're making mistakes all the time. The faster we identify them and the faster we solve them, the better off we are. But having the idea of thinking that I failed, it's one that is going to prevent you from taking action, from understanding really where you are. And don't do what I did. Failure doesn't feel good, but fear of failure is the fear that we most have. But what's failure? You started a company, you were courageous. In the failure gives you an opportunity to make it better. Look, it's only failure if you give up, if you run away, if you think there's no more solutions. But it's not true. I can give you countless of examples where I thought I couldn't do more. And that's not true. That is life calling you to develop yourself, to grow. Whether it is in all the areas, maybe it's life asking you to acquire a skill that you don't have. Maybe it's if let's say it's in the area of people, to understand more about human behavior, how to communicate better, how to develop scorecards that define the expectations of every role. That changed my life when I did that. When I identified what do I want, what's the outcome that I want for every role, every position, how do I want to hire, that changed my life. So there is a better future. If that's where you are and you're stressed, for no reason, don't think there's no other way to do this. There's always a way, and life really presents us opportunities that appear, they're disguised as failure, but they're really not. They're really an opportunity for us to grow and for us to become what we are made to be. We are limitless, and we really are. So this is just a small step for us to get into the right journey for the next level of growth. I believe God is always preparing us for the next level. And so if you find a way to take yourself through this process and see reality as it is, gain clarity so you can gain control later, I can promise you, your life next year is going to be a different one. Once you do the first one, the one that is the lowest, then go do it again and take on the next one and take on the next one, because we're always growing. So this is something you're going to be doing constantly, continuously. Awareness is super important so you can take action. And the next one is, of course, take action. If you have to face something that maybe produces some level of anxiety, just know that anxiety is just a projection of the worst or something bad in the future. But take yourself back to the moment when you started the company, when you had that belief that you could do it, and remember who you really are.